Welcome to Cultural Quarter of an Hour with me, Charlotte Foster. This is a podcast all about Stoke-on-Trent and North Staffordshire. We are unashamedly positive about the area and we unashamedly sing this area's praises. We do this by looking at the area's culture. Now, this can be anything from events that are taking place, history of the area, but most importantly, it is the people. You may or may not have noticed that it is June. Yes, it is. And there are definitely, if I'm looking around Hanley, definitely no Christmas decorations up anywhere. So here I am at the Mitch.You'll Art Centre, and I'm about to go in and talk to Tim Churchill all about this year's panto. I know, it's June! What on earth is happening? Well, I can tell you what's happening. It is an audition day today for children to be a Hanley Babe. Now, I'm going to give it my best shot as well, because I reckon I could be a Hanley Babe. I might be 20 years too old to be a Hanley Babe, but let's see if I can manage to be a Hanley Babe.
We had so many who auditioned last year that it took quite a long time to get through them all and to choose who was going to be in the show, that we really created a lot of work for us last year. So we thought this year we'll just do it earlier, because there's even more kids this year wanting to audition. And so we thought, well, let's do it now, and then we've got time to pick and choose. And also, if we're not completely satisfied all over, we can have a few recalls. So giving ourselves a bit of time, that's all.
For people who don't know who or what the Hanley Babes are, give me a bit of background, please.
The Hanley Babes it's a huge tradition here in Stoke-on-Trent from many years ago, mainly at the Theatre Royal in Hanley. There would be a group of dancers. They'd normally be older than the kids we have now, and they were called the Hanley Babes, and they were the dancers for the Theatre Royal for most of their pantos. I think it harks back to well past the 50s. And so they kind of disappeared 20-30 years ago. They became the Royal Dancers when it became the Royal for the few years that the Royal was open. And then since about 1998, we've not had Hanley Babes or the Royal Dancers or anything like that. So we thought let's bring back the Hanley Babes. They always appeared on all the pantos. You can sort of look online and see, look through the archives and see some of the old pantos that were at the Theatre Royal. And it's always sort of saying, starring John Inman and the Hanley Babes, or, Frankie Howard and the Hanley Babes. I think I saw that one. And so, that was the thing. We want to bring back the Hanley Babes and also give people a chance locally to audition from all different dance schools, not just targeting one particular dance school or academy. So, let's make life a bit harder for ourselves by having children from all over the place. But it just gives them all a chance then, because, like I say, it's better than just targeting one specific dance school.
So the children who are auditioning, are they dancers who are at different dance schools, or could anyone walk in off the street and go, "Hi, I'd like to be a Hanley Babe"? No time asking for a friend.
Anybody can. I suppose if somebody walked in off the street now and said, "Can I audition?" we of course would say yes. But we had an online and a Facebook social media registration where we put it out there, and then people would apply. No one was turned down. Obviously, it was just a case of come along. These are the days. We gave them all the time to come along, and they've all come in certain groups. And we're auditioning them in large groups throughout the day. So it's open to anybody. You don't have to be going to a dance academy or a drama academy. It's open to all children.
When you say children, how old are we talking? I'm determined to be a Hanley Babe.
I think anything up to 18. So we're kind of what we'll do with each group. This year we're having 4 groups. Last year we had 3. And there were so many that we thought let's extend the groups, and we just want our group to sort of span all different ages. So it'll go from your 8-year-olds up until your 18-year-olds, if any 18-year-olds can drag themselves out of the pub and come to audition.
And we mentioned this, we spoke when you did Cinderella last year, and we mentioned about how important it is just to give everybody an opportunity to take part in the arts, because it's not about one day being on the West End stage. It's about it gives people confidence, can't it? And just a bit of extra something to sort of carry with them.
Yeah, I think so. I think doing drama at school, doing any kind of performing arts at school, is absolutely important. Dance, is, do dance, but boys and girls, can do dance because it helps with posture, helps with confidence. Later on, if you want to walk into a job interview and you're not confident with speaking, with eloquently, confidently, then that could be a problem. That could be the difference between you getting the job or not getting the job. And so it's not just about doing drama at school. It's not just about training you up so you can go and be an actor or go and be on the West End. It's also about giving you confidence and, just something that you can sort of latch onto and say, look, I did this, I do that, I do a bit of acting. You can come and do it locally, you can go away and go and train, or you can just say, look, it helped me in my life, it gave me a bit of confidence.
I tell this story quite a lot. When I was learning to drive, my driving instructor knew that I did theatre studies at GCSE and then at A level, and I was having a few issues with in the lessons. And he said, "Right, Charlotte, today you are playing the role of a driver. So think about, when you're doing your theatre, when you're on stage, you're playing the role. Today you're playing the role of a driver." And for whatever reason, that clicked. And it's something that I take with me now if I'm going into a situation and I'm like, again, you say you haven't quite got the confidence. I go, right, for the next hour, you are playing the role of so-and-so. And it really has worked. So, and I guess people would say that I do have a job now that does involve kind of, a bit of performance. But actually, it's not acting or theatre. So, but it does help, like you say. It's not something that is directly related, but it does help in everyday life.
Well, yeah, because you can't be shy in the business that you work in, And the other thing, I've done plenty of training days as well with at universities where you go in and pretend to be. They know as well. You're not trying to catch them out, medical students, and so you'll go and say, right, I'm going to pretend to be the patient that's got a complaint. That's your job for the day, to go in and say, right, you get a certain amount of things to say and to complain about, and see how the medical students deal with it. And it's really helpful for them. And so, that's not the glamorous side of show business. That's just earning a living. But you've got those tools to earn that living because you were taught that drama at school, or you went to those classes or those places that are around, like the amateur dramatic societies and things like that all give confidence.
So tell me a little bit about what you know so far about, because it is June, and I don't really want to mention the C word, but it's approaching, and one of the traditions of Christmas is obviously the pantomime. So what kind of hints can you give us about this year's production?
Well,
is it written yet?
Yeah, almost. Well, the first draft is almost written, yeah, and it's very funny. I thought Cinderella last year was very funny, and I kind of got on board a little bit with the writing with Paul Wood, who writes our pantos with me. But at the moment, Paul has taken the lead. I've just said, look, you write it, and then I'll have a little look at it after. And I've already started looking at it, and already I think it's incredible. There's so much comedy in there. There's so much fun, but wordy comedy, not just slapstick, not your usual front cloth gags or anything like that. They're all story related, which is what Paul does brilliantly. And he doesn't just nick old jokes and retell them. He'll recycle them and make them something else. But he'll always stick within the story. And again, the same as Cinderella last year, it won't be too long. It won't be over long. It will be full of good songs, good music, and sometimes a bit of drama and a bit of pathos as well, because I think we need all of those things in a panto. And
it's Aladdin, isn't it?
It's Aladdin, yeah.
And Den from Radio Stoke is back, isn't he?
Yes, he is, yeah. We've written even more lines. Paul has written even more lines for Den this year, which I've looked at and thought, that's even more lines I've got to take off him. Den was great last year. He really was. It's the first time he'd ever done anything like it. I know he was nervous. But he had a wonderful time in rehearsals, and he really, really worked hard on getting the lines and getting the things right while he was working full time as well. And he had a great time in the dressing room with the lads. They loved him, and he did actually warm into the role. Even after the first couple of performances, he was there. And the great thing with Den is we just said to him, just be you, mate. If you forget your lines, just tell him. And that was even better when he did. But he didn't do it very often. He was actually, better than some of us. He was certainly better than me. I didn't have time to learn my lines. I was doing loads of other things. But it was great. It's great to have him back, and he's really excited to be back again. And he's going to play the Emperor of Alderlong-Ton, which is in Chinatown, which is the place in Stoke-on-Trent where they make all the china. And so we have a very potteries-based plot. The lamp is hidden in the vaults of the Potteries Museum amongst the Staffordshire hoard, and that's where Abenarzo wants to get the lamp from. So we try to make it very locally based as well.
Is that important to you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the more so as I'm getting older. I look at what goes on around in this area, and I look at the arts and look at the things, and there's a real big art scene going on here, and I think also to be proud of the city that you come from. And there's a couple of friends of mine, Conrad Nelson and Deb McAndrew, who are very much champions of this area, and I've kind of looked at that and thought, yeah, good for you. You should be. And do you know what? I should try more harder to do that as well, and so that's why I'm kind of including it into this panto. And the great thing about the people of Stoke-on-Trent, as with this panto and as with any panto that's been in this area, is they're very keen to laugh at themselves. And we have this wonderful thing that we've got the two football teams that we can play off against each other, so we can make all the jokes about Port Vale and all the Stoke fans will laugh, and all the jokes about Stoke and all the Vale fans will laugh. We can take the rise out of the bus service, and we can take the rise out of the council, and everybody takes it all in good stead, and they all laugh at it because they all have the capacity to laugh at themselves. So that's why I love this place so much.
Going back then to the audition today, mm-hmm. What kind of things are you going to be putting the children through? What do they need to show you?
Well, Ed Costello, who's our dance captain and choreographer for the panto, has set a couple of dance routines for them to do, and as well as being able to look for the fact that they can pick up a dance routine relatively quickly, we're not we're not expecting people to pick it up like that. We're also looking for a bit of individuality. Somebody's just come along and just take a chance and just go a little bit crazy. So, and we've had a few of those. It's been great. And so, yeah, it's not just about always looking for the best bunch of dancers who will all just do it uniformly and look great. That's fabulous. That can look great on stage. But at the same time, just a bit of personality, a bit of individuality, so that people will go, look at that one there, look at him, look at he's gone the wrong way, and things like that. So, yeah, it's mainly more about personality.
Anyone impressed you so far?
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, there is. There's a very strong. We have a lot of dance schools and dance academies, and a lot of amateur dramatic societies and things within this area, which is great for younger people, which is great for the kids. And so all of them that have come along, I imagine, today, are all involved in these things in one way or another. And so they've all got a certain amount of talent. That there's nobody's walked in who's got absolutely zero amount. Well, you wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't walk into an audition and say, right, well, you've got to sing and dance and do a bit of drama and then just stand there and do nothing. They all know what's expected of them, and there are all different degrees of skill that comes in. And like I say, not necessarily the best we'll get in. We're looking for personality and individuality. This year's panto is going to be even funnier than last year's panto, and some of your old favourites will be back. Some of the cast from last year's panto have very kindly said that after what we put them through last year, they're going to come back. So I'm really happy about that, because it was a very, very good, cheerful, happy team. There was never a moment where we felt fearful for the quality or the success of the show, and so we're very happy to have all that back. I get to play a villain again this year. I'm going to play Abenarzo this year, so I'm going on Amazon now to try and look for my laser glove. And yeah, we got Paul coming back to play Widow Twanky. People who might remember Matt from last year, who played Buttons, our very, very fabulous Buttons, he's going to be a very different kind of genie this year. I won't say anything more, And Liam, who played Dandini last year, is coming back to play Aladdin for us, and a few other old faces as well. Not old faces, but last year's faces. My face is old, but and the same creative team, same writers, same lighting, same sound, same set designer. If it ain't broken, don't try and fix it. Really. I'm just wondering if all of you could just do me a favour, children. I've just been doing an interview. I'm just wondering whether or not we could just give a big cheer. Is that okay? After 3, 1, 2, 3.
So we've got the info from Tim about this year's production. I thought I'd have a chat to two of last year's Hanley Babes who are hoping to repeat that performance and be a Hanley Babe again this year. I'm with Emma and Jack. Guys, what was last year like, first of all?
It was really fun and I loved it because I like performing and dancing. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was loads of fun, like loads of nice people, and it was just like really good.
So what's it like being a Hanley Babe?
You feel like proud of yourself for getting in the audition, and it's nice to know that you've won.
Yeah, it's like a privilege, like you're a Hanley Babe, so it's nice to know that you are one.
And what did they get you doing when you were performing last year?
Well, we did dances, and we interacted with the audience for some of them, and they were really fun.
We had to act and smile loads as well.
All about the smiling, is it?
Yeah, definitely.
I know this is not for visual, but go on, show us your smile. Ah, that is very good. I can see why you two were chosen last year. Very good smiles. So go on then. Ignore Tim there. What are the secrets? What's it like backstage?
It's fun.
Yeah, it's really good and fun.
So today you're back to audition again. What do you think? What do you think makes a good Hanley Babe?
You just perform loads and smile a lot and just dance your best.
Yeah, same. Basically, smile loads, dance really well, and perform and interact with the audience.
You two look pretty confident. Do you get nervous at all when you do this?
A bit, yeah. Because you're on stage and it's like a big thing to do it.
Well, I've been on stage loads, so it's not really as scary as it used to be, but it's still a bit nerve-wracking.
Oh, Jack, I love it. Yeah, I'm on stage loads. Me, yeah, just hanging out on stage. It's my day job now. Is it something you'd like to do for a job in real life?
It'd be nice to do that. Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah.
So good luck today. Oh no, I'm not allowed to say that. Oh, no, break a leg, but don't actually break a leg because that's really bad. Go and knock them dead. Yeah, that sounds like a good one. Smash it. All those sorts of words. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I haven't jinxed a pair of you. Should I walk away now? Walking away. Well, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I'm not a Hanley Babe on stage. Not this year. Probably not next year, and if I'm being honest, probably not the year after that either. But what I do know is that if it's anything to go on like last year's performance of Cinderella was absolutely hilarious, and of course I do know Den very well from working with him in the past, and Tim's hilarious, and I did watch Cinderella last year and it was really very good, so I can only say that if it's anything like last year it will be absolutely blinking brilliant. We will no doubt whatsoever catch up with the cast and crew of Aladdin in the run-up to the actual performances starting again, but in the meantime, fingers crossed to all those auditionees today. Hope they've done really well and got into being a Hanley Babe. You can get in touch with me on Cultural Quarter of an Hour by getting us on social media at CQHpod is all you need to look for on both Facebook and Twitter. The blog might be up by now, might be. Fingers crossed, eh? It's www.cqhpod.co.uk. Go see if it's there. It might be, might not be. Oh, I love a bit of dilemma. If not, I'll be back next week with more podcasts about what is great about Stoke-on-Trent and North Staffordshire. It is every Wednesday, wherever you normally get your podcasts from.